First Peter. Peter, of course, was the leading apostle. And First Peter is actually not written by Peter. It's written by Silas, Paul's friend and Peter's friend. Peter says that in First Peter 5:12. And Silas is a much better writer of Greek than Peter is. When we get to Second Peter is a little more, well, not barbaric, but a little less classy than First Peter. Second Peter almost didn't get in the Bible because it was so different from First Peter until they realized that Silas had written First Peter, and they asked the question, what books are accepted in all the churches as authority? And the books that we ended up with, these 27, are the response to that question. The first list came out in the year 367. So the early church had over 3 centuries where they didn't have what we call the New Testament scriptures. So First Peter is about Christians who suffer persecution in the midst of their regular living. And he tells them suffer as a Christian. It's one of the few places the word Christian is used in the Bible. The word Christian is first used in the Bible in Acts 11:26, and then it's not used again until it's used over here in First Peter. People who are Christians are Gentiles. The Jews are called Messianic Jews when they believe in Jesus, but Christians are Gentiles. And so these are Gentile Christians, and he writes to them and he says they are scattered in the provinces of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. This is up what we call Turkey today. And Peter writes and covers almost everything. He covers baptism. He has many baptismal sermons in First Peter. And I think probably one of the most difficult passages in the Bible is in First Peter 3, where I had a friend that wrote his master's thesis on this. And I believe his decision was right on it. If you want to know what it is, you can email me at mbarrier@dallas.edu, mbarrier, Berrier, at dallas.edu. And I will try to share with you any answers to any questions you have on anything that's come up in this. But First Peter is a book that deals with baptism. And listen to what he says over in 1 Peter 3:21. He says, baptism now saves you, not by a washing of dirt from the body, but the answer of a good conscience through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. How does baptism save us? Does baptism really save us? He says it's like Noah and his family going through the flood in the ark. They were saved by water. They were saved in spite of the water, and so are we. And so baptism saves us by the inner working of the Spirit inside us, not by the physical act of the response of baptism. I call baptism, some people say we're not saved by works, and so baptism can't save you. But the problem is, Peter says baptism does save you. It saves you not by the outer work, but by the inner work of the Holy Spirit. And it's not a work. It's never referred to as a work. Baptism is a submission. You don't baptize yourself. Somebody baptizes you. You just submit to it. Somebody else does the work. So baptism saves in that way. If you're going to suffer, if somebody makes fun of you or whatever, make sure you suffer as a Christian. Don't suffer for doing evil, but suffer for doing good. And that's really what 1 Peter's about.